In 2022, the American dream looks a lot more like a nightmare. In the last episode, we spoke about what it really means to be stuck and how we've been inaccurately equating stuckness with stagnancy. We know that stuckness is not inaction, but rather unfocused, counterproductive action that thwarts our progress. We're moving, but the actions we're taking and the lack of results we're seeing are draining our energy, confidence, and motivation to change, leaving us feeling even more stuck than we were before. We discussed how this is showing up for those of us who feel stuck in a job or business where something feels very off or unfulfilling, but what about those of us who don't even have a job? If we look at the huge number of recent college grads and Gen Z adults that are unable to find a job, it becomes very obvious why this really is the American nightmare, especially for them. We've been sold this fantasy our whole lives that with enough ambition, by going to college and getting a degree, that we will be able to secure a good job and find financial and career security. Oh, and the thousands of dollars of debt that we went into for student loans, it's no big deal. We'll easily be able to pay it back with the great jobs we'll receive upon graduating. But the reality is, this just isn't the case anymore. Gen Z has graduated into one of the most challenging job markets, where many of them, despite having a degree, are not even qualified for entry-level jobs that pay minimum wage. They're facing rejection after rejection and starting to feel incredibly lost and hopeless without a plan to move forward. No one has prepared them for this, and their families and older generations just can't understand. They experienced a completely different job market, where it was much easier to get hired, pay off debt, and find financial and career security. So as a result, for many recent college grads, their mental health is seriously declining. They're struggling to get unstuck and deal with this really challenging career landscape that they find themselves in. So with all of this considered, how can we not only identify and attract careers to give us this basic stability, but also fill us with a deep sense of purpose and meaning, which we deserve to have in our careers? How can we get unstuck? Well, in the fall of 2020, I began to stumble upon the solution to this without even realizing it. While I was very lucky to have a job and a well-paying one at Google, I was still incredibly miserable and burnt out because I really did not enjoy the work that I did. I ended up having to take a leave of absence that August because I had run myself into the ground. My mental and physical health were completely deteriorated. But what I didn't realize at the time was that this forced pause and period of extreme stuckness was actually one of the best things that could have ever happened to me. In the months that followed during my leave, first I tried to apply to a ton of different jobs and reach out to my network, but nothing really came of it. I just felt even more stuck and confused with what to do next. So by September, I decided to take a break from all of that and just find a creative outlet. So I joined TikTok and started creating content around marketing and branding because I really enjoyed talking about these topics. I thought that serving the small business community with my free tips and advice could give me a sense of purpose and meaning that I just couldn't really find doing marketing at Google. And while I didn't have a ton of knowledge or professional experience in it, I started also creating content about mindset and subconscious reprogramming because these were topics I was really interested in college, but never really got a chance to explore in my career. After just a couple of months of creating content in this marketing, branding, mindset niche I had carved out for myself, something really strange started happening. Suddenly, my inbox and DMs were full of messages from recruiters about interviews for potential job offers that they thought I would be a great fit for. There were asks for me to be featured on podcasts and even in online news articles. Brands started contacting me asking if I would do any sponsored deals for them. I had people proposing business partnerships. I never launched any products or services at this point, nor did I even hint that an offer was coming, but still I had potential clients reaching out to work with me. And while receiving all of these opportunities was incredibly exciting, especially considering the state of stuckness that I was in, nothing made me happier than the messages that I received from my audience thanking me for sharing my knowledge and stories online because of the impact that I made on their lives and businesses. But the culmination of all of these thankful messages and the opportunities I was attracting is what led me to this epiphany, that building a personal brand is one of the best solutions to getting unstuck. But not just for those of us that find ourselves stuck in an unfulfilling career, but also for those of us that are stuck in a dead-end job search without any real leads. I've realized now that to get unstuck, you need 3 ingredients. And coincidentally, all 3 of these ingredients are also byproducts of building a personal brand. So the first ingredient to getting unstuck is confidence and a strong mindset. That means we need to be aware of our limiting beliefs, we need to rewrite those beliefs with empowering ones, and we need a toolbox of different actions and routines that we can fall back on to strengthen our mindset when we inevitably run into challenges in our journey to getting unstuck. The second ingredient to getting unstuck is personal clarity. It's crucial that we have awareness of our values, strengths, and superpowers, a vision for our dream life and career, and an understanding of what kind of work will feel most meaningful to us. Essentially, we need to find the intersection between what we enjoy, what we're good at, and what matters most to us. We'll call this our career sweet spot. The final ingredient to getting unstuck is all about opportunities. We need to be able to attract new opportunities that not only offer us financial stability, but also are aligned with our career sweet spot. The opportunities should give us room to grow, support our values, and fill our cups with a sense of meaning. So, how does building a personal brand produce these 3 critical ingredients that we need to get unstuck? Well, in my own program, I break down the steps to build a personal brand into 3 main steps, all 3 of which contribute to these 3 critical ingredients to getting unstuck. Step 1 is laying the foundation. Step 2 is finding our niche and brand identity. And step 3 is creating content on social media. In the first step, we lay a strong foundation before beginning our personal branding journey by assessing and building our mental readiness. This is where unstuck ingredient number 1 comes in. We're building our confidence through subconscious reprogramming techniques and developing different systems and routines to strengthen our mindset through things like journaling, meditation, visualization, etc. In the second step of my personal branding framework, we find our niche and build our brand identity. This is where we develop unstuck ingredient number 2, which is personal clarity. We do this by leveraging the niche frameworks to find the intersection between what we enjoy, what we're good at, what we value, and what people will pay us for. And with brand identity exercises, we uncover our purpose or why and identify our core values. And as I mentioned briefly in my own story about creating mindset content, in personal branding step 3, we can also gain a ton of clarity by leveraging content creation on social media to experiment with lesser explored passions or interests. Here, we're able to figure out whether or not these interests are things we want to explore further or even pursue a career in. But the most important byproduct of content creation on social is what gives us our third and final ingredient needed to get unstuck. And that's new opportunities aligned with our career sweet spot. As we create thought leadership content in our niche, this does a few things for us to magnetize us for different opportunities that can provide us both financial security and fulfillment. The first is that we begin to gain recognition and credibility in our niche as we publicly position ourselves as experts. This visibility is how we can attract job offers, clients, brand deals, podcasts and media features, partnerships, and tons of other opportunities that we would have never thought of had we not been presented with them first. The second is that these new opportunities provide both clues and advancements towards our most fulfilling and profitable work. And as I mentioned in my own story, as we create content, we begin to build a community around us of people who trust us and value what we have to say. Eventually, we begin to receive messages from our audience thanking us for the impacts that we've had on their lives simply by sharing our knowledge and stories. This alone provides such a sense of meaning and fulfillment, and it helps to strengthen our mindset and build our confidence, contributing to unstuck ingredient number 1. And this is exactly how my clients, hundreds of my followers, and I have gotten unstuck from unfulfilling careers or dead-end job searches. I leverage my own platform to launch my coaching business and quit my job at Google. My clients have also left their 9-to-5s to pursue their own ventures built off the backs of their personal brands. Other clients and followers have done the same to attract new jobs, pivot into different industries, write books or launch podcasts, begin a speaking career, find business partners, and so much more. But the common denominator for all of us is that we all used our personal brands to get unstuck. Because the truth is, personal brands act as launch pads to elevate the success of any entrepreneurial pursuit or job search. So if you haven't yet joined Project Unstuck, be sure to click the link in my bio so you can come along with us on this journey as we unpack the specific focused action that we can take to get unstuck by building our personal brands. In this regular video series, which is completely free, we're also going to be interviewing other people on their journeys to getting unstuck so we can learn from what they've done. And we'll be mapping out the specific action steps that we should take now and in the future so that we can cultivate the lives and careers we're meant to lead.